Between Trader Joe's and Costco, take my money. Anyways, the old coot here coming back at you with another exciting video. Poke. Poke's been on my mind for a while. I've been wanting to make it on my own because I got tired of spending 20 $25 a pound for pre-made poke, right? Whether you buy it at Costco or the local supermarket, whatever the case may be. I just decided to make it on my own. There's a little bit of upfront cost because you have to buy the individual components. But once you have all this and you think you're going to be making it repetitively, like I like to have this maybe 2, even 3 times a week, I decided, you know what, spend the initial money, but the cost per pound is like a fraction of what it is buying it already pre-made. Plus, when you buy the stuff yourself and you mix and match, you can adjust. You can add more sweetness or more sourness or more umami or more heat. Or you can add a little more flavor like the bonito, the ginger, the garlic. You kind of get a sense of what's going on there. Also, you know what you're putting in it. I mean, at least you know that you bought the individual ingredients and you can read labels and all that good stuff. So anyways, with that being said, let's talk about the fish first of all. Usually it's tuna or salmon, right? If you buy your fish fresh, meaning that it's fresh, it came out of a refrigerator or it's on ice, what you basically want to do is you want to freeze it for 1 day. You want to freeze it for 24 hours, then take it out of the freezer and put it in the refrigerator for 2 days, meaning 48 hours. So again, if your fish is fresh, right, like you have like a salmon fillet or a nice ahi tuna fillet, stick the whole thing in the freezer, freeze it for 24 hours. What that's going to do is that's going to kill off any parasites or any bacteria that's not supposed to be on it or in it. And then defrosting it in the fridge for 2 days is basically going to allow it to thaw correctly, come back to the temperature that it should be. If it's a little par frozen after the 2 days, that's totally fine. It'll kind of work itself out when you put it in the marinade afterwards. But needless to say, what I do is I buy mine frozen in these little packs like this. These are 1 pound packs. This is AAA grade tuna poke cubes. This is kind of like what they look like. So this is frozen. So since it's already frozen, I'm going to put this whole packet in the fridge for 2 days. And during that time frame, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let my marinade, right, my poke sauce, basically meld together into one cohesive unit. So let's talk about what's in the sauce. The main ingredients are you want an umami, which is your soy sauce. You want, basically it's that savoriness, it's that deep flavor that just is umami. That's coming from the soy sauce. Then you want the sour, which is coming from rice wine vinegar, right? This is the one that I use. This is Nakano, unseasoned, right? Seasoned rice wine vinegar basically has sugar added to it and some other stuff. I don't like that one because I don't know what kind of sugar they're using. Maybe I don't like the ratio of the sweetness to the sour. I like to just add my own sweetness to the rice wine vinegar, which is the third part, which is the honey. I rotate back and forth. I was down in San Diego a while back and Farmer's Daughter was gracious enough to, provide this product, avocado honey. I still have a little bit of it left, so I might use some of this. But if you don't want to use try to use your local honey if you can. It's going to be better for you. It's like, try to eat the things that are local to your area. So this is like one of those things. But if you can't find that, Costco honey is fine. Just try to get the one that's local to your area. I like this particular one, like the SoCal Raw Unfiltered, because I feel like I'm getting more honey for my dollar. And if there's bits and pieces floating around in there, that's fine. That's even better. That means it's more unfiltered and raw. But anyways, the ratios that I've kind of discovered are 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of rice wine vinegar, and 1 tablespoon of the honey. That's basically the ratio. It's 1-1-1. If you are going to use sugar, like you're going to use brown sugar, or you're going to use molasses, or you're going to use refined, C&H white sugar from Hawaii, you're going to have to play around with the ratio. Maybe it's 1 tablespoon, maybe a half a tablespoon of sugar. If you're going to do that, you're just going to have to play around with it and see what works for you. Do you want it more umami? Do you want it more sour? Do you want it more sweet? And you kind of play around. But this is what I do. Okay, specifically when it comes to the soy sauce, I like the Trader Joe's one. This is reduced sodium. This one has 530 milligrams, which is a lot of sodium for one What is the serving size? Is, there you go, 1 tablespoon. The Kikkoman one is fine, like Kikkoman regular or Kikkoman reduced. The Kikkoman reduced sodium I think was like 570. So I feel like I'm getting less sodium, same if not better flavor from the Trader Joe's one. That's why I use this, the Trader Joe's one. The Nakano is the rice wine vinegar that I use. There's basically the back label if you want to go ahead and check that out and see what's in there. But I mean, it's pretty simple. It's rice vinegar diluted with water. You know, kind of get a sense what's going on there. Pretty simple ingredients. These two, you don't have to refrigerate after opening, which is awesome. I think the Kikkoman one, you do have to refrigerate after opening. I don't know why that is. Also, I noticed the Kikkoman one there's a lot more in there than just soybeans and a few other things. Like this one, look at the what's in there. It's water, soybeans, wheat, salt, and vinegar. The Kikkoman one, you know, read your labels is what I'm trying to get at. This one, the honey. This is the honey from Costco. There's your labels right there. You kind of get a sense of what's going on there. It's just honey, so it's pretty simple. So like I said, I know what I'm putting in there. Okay, once you get the liquids in, right, what I do is I multiply based on however much fish, right, tuna or salmon I'm going to be, you know, using or cooking or whatever. And like I said, if you buy it fresh, stick it in the freezer for 1 day. That kills off any of the parasites that are on there, stuff that's not supposed to be on there. Then take it out of the freezer. You can leave it whole and then stick it in your fridge for 2 days so that it can properly thaw out and then it's ready to use. And like I said, if it's a little par frozen, when you take it out of your fridge, that's even better because then it's easier to slice and dice and cut up and all the good stuff. Okay, so liquids are in there. Now let's talk about garlic and ginger, right? You don't need both. You could use both. If you want to use one or the other, that's fine. But traditionally, like the poke that's, you know, that I like to make at least, what I usually do is I put about, I would say 2 tablespoons of ginger, which I'm going to like smash with the back of a good knife. Like this is a 12-inch or 14-inch Victorinox. So I'm going to smash it with the back of a knife, chop it up really fine, get it into really, really fine little tiny little bits in there. That's the ginger. So 2 tablespoons of ginger. And then I have, give or take, around 1 tablespoon of really finely diced, chopped garlic. So 2 parts ginger, 1 part garlic. And then you can multiply based on however much you're going to be making. I'm obviously making, this is a pound, but I'm going to be making probably 2 pounds. So that's why I have so much in here. So for every 1 pound of fish, whether it's tuna or the salmon or whatever fish you decide to use, you could use cooked octopus. You could use, you know, so the sky's the limit when it comes to poke. But for every 1 pound of fish, I do 1 tablespoon soy sauce, 1 tablespoon vinegar, 1 tablespoon of honey, right? 2 tablespoons of ginger, 1 tablespoon of garlic. That's the basic ratio. And I like it heavily gingered and heavily garlic. If you want to reduce, take stuff out, use less ginger, use less garlic, totally up to you. Okay, another key component is this stuff, Furikake. This was the best bang for the buck that I could possibly find online. This stuff is pretty pricey at your, you know, ethnic markets, but here I think I found the best bang for the buck. It's not bad. It's around, I can't remember the exact price, but you're getting like over a pound. I mean, you're getting 17.6 ounces. And the price was, you know, relatively, I would say, inexpensive compared to supermarket prices. You know, this whole thing probably cost me somewhere in the ballpark of like 20 bucks. Like maybe even less than that. I can't even remember. But here's what's in it. And the most crucial thing that's in there is the bonito. I don't know if you could actually see that. See, dry seaweed. You've got that in there. And then you've got some other stuff in there. Some edible alcohol, whatever it is, fermented condiments, etc., etc. But the bonita, right? The bonita is really what gives that flavor, that poke kind of flavor. It's a fish. Bonita is a fish. And what they do is they catch it, they dry it, right? And then it basically concentrates down the flavor and it gives that poke that extra little umami, that savoriness. Last ingredient is spice, right? Some kind of chili if you want some heat to your poke. This is red pepper powder, which is basically, I think this is Gochugaru is basically what this is. And again, best bang for the buck was this specific brand. I'll put links down below in the description, etc., etc. But you kind of get a sense of what's going on here. This is the kind of heat where it hits you and then it goes away pretty quickly. So it's not like a long lingering heat, but that's what the chilies look like when they pick them. They basically dry them. It gets converted into like a powder. There's your red pepper. You kind of get a sense of what's going on there. This is this is a product of Korea. So you kind of get that going on. Origin China, you know, it's origin China, packed in Korea, whatever the case may be. But anyways, you could use red pepper flake if you want instead. You could use pepper. You could use whatever you want. You really don't need salt because a lot of the salt, I mean, look at how much sodium was coming from the soy sauce. You don't have to use this. You don't even have to use this if you don't want to. But what I would do is just try a little, try some ratios, experiment, mix, see what works for your taste buds. The very, very last thing is, I'll tell you this, is while your fish is defrosting, right? So it was frozen, it's defrosting for those 2 days. Mix up your liquid and your dry ingredients, your ginger and your garlic into some kind of container or vessel, and just let this go for that 48 hours on its own so that all of these flavors can mix and mingle and meld together into a homogenized unit. Then when your fish is defrosted, right, and it's thawed out, this is 2 days after it was frozen, cut it up into cubes, kind of like the cubes that you see there, right? These little cubes. Add them to your mix it around, let it sit for at least a few hours, and then you can go ahead and eat it. If you want, this will usually stay, like once this is defrosted and thawed out and I add this to my liquids, usually it'll stay for about 2 days or so. So 48 hours. Anything past that, usually it's already gone between me and my roommate. Sometimes I give some to friends and family I know, my neighbors or whatever. But anything past 48 hours, you start getting into that sketchy territory of the fish starts to turn. You know what I mean? So try to eat it once you've mixed everything together, your fish with your liquids and all the other stuff. Try to eat it within 2 days, let's say. But anyways, that's the basic understanding of how I make my poke. Hopefully this video out there helps some of you understand the liquid ratios, right? 1-1-1 between soy sauce, rice vinegar, and honey. You could use sugar. You know, like I said, you're going to have to experiment of what you like and you don't like. Also, the garlic to the ginger ratios, right? 1 tablespoon of garlic, 2 tablespoons of ginger. Like I said, if you don't want as much ginger, don't use as much. What you could also do at the very, very end, like after you've mixed it all together, so your tuna or your salmon is thawed out, it's been, you know, sitting in that liquid for 2 or 3 hours. What you could do is you could add a drop or two, maybe like a half a teaspoon up to a teaspoon of some good quality sesame oil. Sesame oil, that oil is going to help to carry those flavors to your taste buds. I don't like the sesame oil, you know, sometimes like I haven't been able to find a good one, so I really don't put it in. I really don't need it. It's also leaner that way. I think you eat it, you're hungry again within 3 hours. It's very satisfying when you eat it, but then you're hungry within 3 hours. Also, after your poke has, you know, your tuna has now become poke and it's in this, when you're ready to serve, that's when you can do your brown rice or white rice. You can do your seaweed salad. You could add some pickled ginger if you happen to find that like fresh in those little containers at the supermarket or the ethnic market or whatever. You could add any sauces you want to add. Like if you decide to buy eel sauce, or if you decide to buy specific like poke sauce or teriyaki sauce or whatever you want to add, you could drizzle or sprinkle some extra sesame seeds on top. Sky's the limit. You could put a little bit more of this, the furikake, on top as like a garnish. So poke is one of those things, it's like a taco bar, right? It's literally like a taco bar. You can put whatever you want. You can leave out whatever you like. Hope this video helps someone. Anyways, I'll try to put as many links to these products as I can down below in the description if you want to go ahead and check those out. I'm Neil Coot, and I'll catch you all in the next exciting video.